topic of conversation tonight, folks, is this one. College football playoff odds, you buying them or are you selling them and saying get them out of here? Let's look at something real quick. This was put out July 5th, 2 days ago. This was put out on Dogs 247 Sports. I went to Google and I just want to look up college football playoff odds, but I found this one. And it has more than just Georgia's odds of winning this. Obviously, Dogs 247, a key team to keep your eye on this offseason is Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. They could actually be a real contender this year. Now, they have been the past few years, but let's be honest. Last year, they started out with Stetson Bennett. What? You waited for JT Daniels, and he was right there the whole time? They didn't seem like a real contender to me last year, honestly. Even going into the season, I didn't see much of it. But anyways, that aside, forget Georgia. Well, not really forget them, but it starts with my Crimson Tide up at the top here at 9-4 odds. You look at it here. Let me zoom in on that. Odds to win the 2021 College Football Playoff National Championship game. Alabama opens up at 9-4. Clemson behind at 3-1. Ohio State 4-1. Oklahoma 13-2. Georgia at 10-1. And you keep going. Tied at 28-1. Iowa State, LSU, A&M. Florida at 40-1. Now, that Florida right there, this is where it gets messed up. I would put these other teams here, not all of them, but like North Carolina, you got Florida alone at 41. This is where it gets screwed up, people. North Carolina's at 51. That's worse. They're basically saying Florida has a better chance than North Carolina, Oregon, Texas, USC, Wisconsin. Right? I'd put those teams ahead of Florida. Hell, looking at this one, Cincinnati, I'd put ahead of Florida. Indiana, Miami, Notre Dame, Penn State. Penn State actually, I don't know. I don't know. But these are the odds, people. These are the odds. And you can't always trust this, but it gives you an idea, right? Like, if you've been listening, shout out to my man Chess Hall. Shout out to everybody in the comments section and watching tonight, too. If you've been watching and listening in lately on the Unprofessional Sports Show, my friend Chess Hall and I have been going through each SEC team. And we keep saying it constantly because obviously playing every SEC team, or at least we've really been going through the West. And we keep talking about A&M, Ole Miss. And we just keep talking and talking. He thinks Ole Miss could get it done against Alabama. And I kind of agree. And I also think a team like A&M could get it done, right? I don't think it's going to happen. But, I mean, I don't think a team like Ole Miss is getting enough credit. UCF at 151. Okay, I can see that. I can see Missouri right there. I can see UCLA. I would put – they give Auburn 101. Trust me, Auburn's going to be worse than people expect them to be. I'm not saying that out of hate or anything. They don't really have a whole lot coming back. They haven't replaced guys like Derek Brown completely, Nick Coe completely, guys on the defense. They got a new head coach that has not faced anything. Don't tell me, Brian. I'm not going to sit here and say Brian Harsin from Boise State is a bad hire. I really don't know. I thought it was interesting when they hired him this offseason. But I think it's interesting. It's an interesting hire. But taking a step from Boise State to the SEC is a whole nother. Oh, he recruited this or that at Boise State. He had one of the best records. He had this. He made this bowl game or did that. That's great. But you're facing the big boys in the SEC. That's a whole nother level. I think give him some time and maybe he could do something and pick it up, and maybe Auburn could get back on track to competing in the SEC the way that they're supposed to, and and all that. Maybe in a few years down the road they get to a year where they beat Georgia and Alabama in the same year again, which obviously they haven't done that since 2017. But are you buying – I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Are you buying these odds? Buy or sell? If you're selling these odds, you're saying – these are all screwed up, and here's what I would have. If you're buying these odds and you're looking at it, you're saying, this seems pretty accurate. I put Ole Miss. Forget about what their odds are. Ole Miss, forget about, it's 151. I'd give them 201. Look, forget that. Forget about what the actual odds are. I'd say Ole Miss has a better chance than Auburn does. I think Michigan's underrated this year. My uncle and I were on here. We were talking last week, he was saying that he thinks this could be the year for Jim Harbaugh to finally beat Ohio State and win the East, and I agree. Ohio State, honestly, is going to be down. They got C.J. Stroud at quarterback, but look, Ohio State will probably be one of the more overrated teams going into the season. You heard it here. All right? I'll say that. What's up, Kane Shade Zonk, Brandon Schutz? I hope I didn't say that wrong. Alan A, J.I., T.J., what's going on, guys? Love y'all. Appreciate y'all showing up. But looking at these odds here, North Carolina, Oregon, Texas, USD, and Wisconsin at 51. I could get that. Cincinnati, Indiana, Miami, Notre Dame, and Penn State in that category. Honestly, crap. I don't know. Penn State did not have a good year last year. They don't really bring a whole lot back. I love Penn State. I love James Franklin. I don't know if I love them this year. Crap, I don't know. Missouri, Ole Miss. This is all. This is from 247. Dogs 247. By the way, let me put that link in there. This isn't from some random website. This is 24/7 Sports. Drew Morton. What's going on? Hey, what's up, buddy? Good seeing you here from church. Good seeing you. Thanks for showing up, man. I've been pumping my channel out a little bit. But yeah, I don't know if I'm buying these odds. I'd sell some of these odds. Okay, 50-1. You got North Carolina, Oregon, Texas, USC, and Wisconsin. I'd buy that. But when you look at this, Ole Miss below Auburn, I'm selling that. Penn State over a team like Michigan and Washington, I'm selling that. Notre Dame and Miami kind of at 80-1. I could see that. This is all kind of over the place, and it's crazy. But I want to hear from you guys. Do you buy these odds? Are you selling them, right? If you're buying these odds, you're saying, I'm taking them to the bank, that this is what we'll have this year. If you're selling them, you're like, get out, right? I'm selling these odds overall. But, again, Iowa State, LSU, A&M at 28-1. I could see that. Florida's going to be worse than people think. They don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball. Dan Mullen is playing with his own recruits, and he cannot recruit. I'm not being critical and trying to throw any team under the bus on purpose. I'm just stating how it is. The recruits last year, what Dan Mullen had for Florida, those were not his players. Those were what Jim McElwain picked up before he got fired. Kyle Trask, Kadarius Toney, go down the list. Anyway, that's pretty much the topic of tonight. Overall, I'd probably sell most of these. I think some teams are overrated, and obviously some teams are underrated. Overrated and underrated. I think Florida should be lower. I think Ole Miss should be higher. No, it's not even responding, but anyway. There's some teams. Missouri, I kind of see them there. I think Florida should be lower. Auburn should be lower. Penn State kind of lower. Maybe they're right there. I don't know. But overall, it is what it is. I'd probably sell most of those odds because I feel like there's some overrated teams. And then I also think that there are some underrated teams as well for this upcoming college football season. But I want to hear from you guys in the comments. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the StreamYard link. And we could definitely talk about all of that. So I'll drop the link and we'll get you guys on.